Chapter 31, Our Divine Family Prepared by God the Father. In this sermon, His Holiness Dharma Protector emphasizes the concept of the divine family that God the Father has preordained for every individual. He begins by explaining that this divine family is the spiritual inheritance preserved by God the Father for His children, forming a divine foundation that connects perispirits across countless lifetimes. The three aspects of the sacred lineage. The sacred lineage is divided into three main components. First, the spiritual intellect. This is created by one's primordial spirit. Second, the external relations. These are the perispirits we connect with during our reincarnations, including parents, siblings, friends, and associates in each lifetime. Third, the inner essence. This represents the fragments of one's own perispirit that reincarnate into different lifetimes. Each reincarnation is a unique manifestation of oneself. His Holiness explains that for exalted beings, reincarnation is not a necessity, but they possess the supreme authority to reincarnate for transformative purposes. This aligns with the spiritual principle. One body manifests countless wondrous transformations. Each life ends with death, and from every death arises an essence of death, forming a foundation for the spiritual lotus throne that determines the perispirit station. The essence body, dictated by one's original spirit, holds immense significance and must not be undermined by fear or hesitation. Conflicts within inner and external relations, both inner essence and external relations, can betray us. This is analogous to the nature of God the Father, who allows the king of demons to exist as a close confidant, utilizing that bond to curb evil. The rebellion of the king of demons has solidified their position in the cosmic hierarchy. Similarly, external or internal relations often exhibit betrayal, even from those we cherish the most, relatives, friends, or loved ones. His Holiness notes that genuine, loyal friendship is exceedingly rare, often leaving us to rely solely on ourselves as the truest companion. Nirvana in the Pure Land. His Holiness describes nirvana as the central realm within the Pure Land. He portrays it as a resplendent domain with a golden pyramid symbolizing the 5 heavens and 5 realms, all encompassed by a massive spiritual tree. The tree's tiny, thread-like leaves hold drops of elixir of immortality, representing the lifelines of the universe. In this realm, perispirits are seated upon their respective lotus thrones, each rank determined by their virtues and spiritual achievements over numerous lifetimes. Despite their lofty attainments, these perispirits must continue their progression. Each tier of the lotus throne symbolizes a step closer to divine perfection. Even Buddhas, though possessing immense power, must evolve further by ascending the tiers of radiance to unify with God the Father. Achieving the next tier often requires a Buddha to reincarnate, starting from a humble form, such as an animal, to rise again to their previous station and ascend to a higher realm. Each tier they achieve emits radiant light, illuminating the universe and sustaining its harmony. This brilliance, akin to a broadcast signal, connects all realms, revealing the wondrous interconnectedness of the cosmos. Conclusion. His Holiness concludes that the divine path of eternal life is unending. Even perispirits within the Pure Land or nirvana must persist in their journey, continuously striving for perfection and ultimate union with God the Father. He encourages everyone to seize the opportunity in this current lifetime to build their divine family, enrich their spiritual intellect, strengthen bonds with external relations, and refine their inner essence. Only through such dedicated effort can one attain the ultimate transcendence and fulfillment of their divine purpose. Chapter 32, The True Nature of Nirvana. In this sermon, His Holiness Dharma Protector delves deeper into the realm of nirvana and the Pure Land, shedding light on the mysteries contained within these sacred realms. The sacred willow tree and the origin of creation. He begins by describing the ancient sacred willow tree, rooted atop the Golden Pyramid. Its vast canopy envelops the pyramid like a celestial net, with each delicate leaf bearing a drop of elixir of immortality. These drops symbolize the generative force of the perispirits within the cosmos. This elixir embodies the essence of creation, from which perispirits are born, evolve, and reincarnate in an endless cycle of transformation. The spiritual body and fulfillment on the lotus throne. His Holiness explains that when perispirits ascend to the lotus throne within the Golden Pyramid, they achieve the fulfillment of the spiritual body, symbolizing a complete understanding of divine mysteries. This spiritual body is the culmination of countless lifetimes, during which perispirits accumulate merit and wisdom to attain such an exalted position in nirvana. The mortal body, though subject to decay after death, forms the foundation for constructing the lotus throne in the divine realm. The essence of death is not lost but becomes an integral part of the perispirit's evolutionary journey. Buddha Maitreya and the power of atomic energy. His Holiness mentioned Buddha Maitreya, the supreme teacher currently presiding over the lotus platform in the nirvana realm. Previously, this position belonged to Buddha Amitabha, but when the third universal salvation of the Great Way was initiated, God the Father entrusted this authority to Buddha Maitreya. The lotus platform is now also strongly associated with the concept of atomic energy, a power bestowed upon humanity by God the Father in this era. Transcending earthly glory to reach nirvana, nirvana, with its splendor and mystique, surpasses all material glory on earth. No earthly power, be it ruling over the entire planet or achieving bliss in the Pure Land, can compare to the sacred honor of ascending the lotus throne within the Golden Pyramid. However, His Holiness emphasizes that attaining this position relies entirely on one's merit and self-discipline. While everyone has the opportunity, achieving it depends on personal dedication and spiritual effort. Perispirits not yet reaching nirvana. His Holiness also discusses perispirits that gather at the outskirts of the paradise of ultimate bliss. These perispirits come from diverse cultures and religions but are halted by a towering wall. Despite their strong faith, they cannot yet enter the true realms of paradise or nirvana due to misconceptions or adherence to doctrines that are not aligned with true teachings. These perispirits temporarily reside in the outer zones, awaiting spiritual purification and training to draw closer to genuine enlightenment. Conclusion. His Holiness concludes by affirming that doubts and misconceptions about the existence of divine realms stem from ignorance and the karmic limitations of individuals. God the Father has decreed that one lifetime is sufficient to achieve liberation if one practices the proper methods. Success hinges entirely on one's effort and spiritual direction. To witness and experience these exalted realities, one must overcome worldly ignorance, turn their perispirit toward God the Father, and engage in actions aligned with the true teachings of the Great Way. Chapter 33. Many seek the Tao, but few achieve true enlightenment. In today's sermon, His Holiness Dharma Protector continues to illuminate the spiritual evolution of perispirits on the eternal divine path, particularly addressing the obstacles and trials encountered in reaching the Pure Land. Kim Kwang Su, the final trial on the path to enlightenment. His Holiness recounts how, upon being entrusted by God the Father with the divine mandate to open the gates to the Pure Land, he initially questioned, "What is this paradise, and why must it be opened?" After fulfilling his mission, he discovered that the path to paradise was obstructed by Kim Kwang Su, a powerful celestial being whose arrogance and self-importance caused his downfall. Known as Lucifer in Christian doctrine, Kim Kwang Su was a great celestial lord whose role was to channel God the Father's divine light throughout the universe. Once near the level of Buddhahood, his power was second only to God the Father. However, his excessive pride and ambition to control the entire cosmos led to his ultimate failure. His inability to submit to God the Father's supreme authority resulted in his banishment from the celestial hierarchy. Kim Kwang-su confronted God the Father, challenging his power. Though his potential was immense, his arrogance relegated him to the demonic realm. If he had exercised humility, he could have held an exalted position in the cosmos, but his hubris and insubordination instead cast him as the demon king. Divine amnesty and Kim Kwang-su's new role. Despite his fall, Kim Kwang-su received divine amnesty from God the Father and was assigned a new, vital role, acting as a divine examiner to test and challenge perispirits on their journey toward Buddhahood. This task underscores his significant position, even in his demoted state. Kim Kwang-su's mission is to evaluate perispirits, ensuring their worthiness to achieve enlightenment. In this role, he presented a poem of challenge during a séance, symbolizing his enduring authority.
Cửu phẩm thần tiên nể mặt ta, thích ca giàu trọng khó giao hòa. Cửa kinh bạch ngọc năng lui tới, đường đạo Tây phương thử tránh tà.
This poem not only reflects his power but also serves as a profound test for perispirits seeking entry into paradise. Many seek the Tao, but few succeed. His Holiness emphasizes that while countless individuals pursue spiritual cultivation, very few achieve true enlightenment. This is not due to a lack of effort but rather the overwhelming trials presented by Kim Kwang-su and the diminishing availability of genuine teachings. His Holiness shares a personal experience of being blocked by Kim Kwang-su while leading the sacred chariot from Jade Void Palace to the Pure Land. This encounter culminated in a fierce battle between Kim Kwang-su and His Holiness's ally, His Holiness Li Minvong. Despite their equal strength, the Dharma protector intervened with sacred tools, the demon subjugation mace and the golden whip, to channel the energy of the conflict and secure victory for Duc Li Minvong, clearing the path for the journeying perispirits. Trials at the gates of paradise. His Holiness also describes the formidable barriers at the gates of paradise, two massive spinning wheels emitting radiant white and red light, representing the sacred laws of the divine realms. Using the demon subjugation mace, he temporarily halted the wheels, enabling perispirits to pass through. Outside paradise, His Holiness observed thousands of perispirits from diverse races, cultures, and religions. Though devout, these perispirits were confined to the outer regions due to their adherence to misguided doctrines or incomplete understanding of the true teachings. These perispirits, though earnest in their faith, must await further spiritual refinement and reincarnation to progress toward enlightenment. Conclusion. His Holiness concludes by affirming that the path to paradise is arduous, requiring profound awakening, persistent cultivation, and, most importantly, access to the divine Dharma and teachings unique to God the Father's true doctrine. His mandate to open Pure Land was given to guide lost perispirits back to eternal peace. This sacred mission demands extraordinary courage, patience, and wisdom, and serves as a beacon of hope for all who seek enlightenment. Chapter 34. The Palace of Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien. The Appearance of God the Father. In tonight's sermon, His Holiness Dharma Protector continues to guide followers along the divine path of eternal life, delving deeper into the mysteries of Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien Palace, the sacred realm where God the Father, as the Supreme Father, manifests to educate and nurture His children. The sacred realms leading to Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien. His Holiness begins by revisiting previously discussed celestial realms such as Dao Hua Huyan Thien, the domain of the Holy Mother, and Phi Tuong Du Thien and Hu Vo Sao Thien, which govern the liberation of all perispirits. However, Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien Palace holds unique significance. This is the realm where perispirits achieve the closest proximity to God the Father. Here, God the Father does not merely appear as a sovereign emperor, as in Jade Void Palace, but as the loving Supreme Father, embracing his children with boundless compassion. God the Father, the Supreme Being, in H6N Nguyen Thuong Thien, God the Father reveals himself not only as the Supreme Being but also as the loving Father of all perispirits. Depending on the cultural and spiritual beliefs of each nation, he manifests in different forms. To the Jews, he is Jehovah; to the Chinese, Hoang Quan Lao Tu; and to the Indians, he appears as Brahma, Siva, or Krishna. This adaptability illustrates his boundless love and intimate connection with all living beings. Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien, where all perispirits unite with the one spirit. This palace is the sacred convergence where all perispirits unite with the one spirit. Regardless of whether they have attained enlightenment, every perispirit has the opportunity to approach God the Father for guidance and education. God the Father is not only a devoted father nurturing his children but also a benevolent teacher willing to grant divine titles such as saint or immortal to those who prove themselves worthy. His Holiness emphasizes that only upon reaching Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien can one truly experience the ultimate bliss of being near God the Father. This palace is also a gathering place for exalted perispirits, from divine immortals to Buddhas, to collaborate in executing divine missions. Decisions about the destruction or rebirth of the universe, including the orchestration of the Long Hua Assembly, are made here. Thus, Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien is also referred to as the Palace of Decision or the Palace of Law because it is the epicenter where all beings unite with the one Spirit, God the Father, and critical decisions are enacted. In this sacred realm, perispirits exist in a constant state of unity with God the Father, ceaselessly meditating and merging with Him. This is the ultimate goal of all spiritual pursuits: to return to the original state of unity with God the Father, a moment synonymous with attaining the way and its divine truths. Conclusion: this sermon imparts a profound message. Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien Palace is not merely a place of unification with the one Spirit, God the Father, but it represents the ultimate destination on the eternal divine path. It is here that God the Father, with infinite love and power, waits to guide his children home, allowing them to experience the profound joy of being in perfect harmony with Him. See Chapter 35, The Thunderous Temple, Abode of Buddha Amitabha. In today's sermon, His Holiness Dharma Protector delves into the profound significance of the Thunderous Temple, the abode of Buddha Amitabha, as he continues guiding the faithful along the eternal divine path. He emphasizes that the teachings shared tonight hold the secrets to attaining enlightenment, urging all to listen attentively and maintain unwavering faith in God the Father to achieve true liberation. Journey to Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien Palace. His Holiness begins by revisiting the journey to the Pure Land and the awe-inspiring pyramid. Tonight, His Holiness takes the faithful further, into the Thunderous Temple, where Buddha Amitabha resides after passing the governance of the cosmos to Buddha Maitreya, who now presides at the pyramid. The Thunderous Temple is not just Buddha Amitabha's dwelling but a repository of ancient Buddhist wisdom from the dawn of creation. These truths are not hidden; they remain accessible to those who earnestly cultivate their spiritual practice. However, due to humanity's neglect, the pathways to liberation have become obscured. Upon reaching the Thunderous Temple, His Holiness hears the chime of bells and is guided onto the celestial chariot to continue his journey toward the White Jade Palace. As he ascends, he senses the urgency of female immortals and divine beings who hasten him forward, crossing through the radiant Hun Nguyen Thuong Thien. The journey continues as His Holiness approaches a radiant light emanating from afar, a majestic structure glowing with a transformative brilliance. This is Toathin Kak, Heavenly Pavilion, an ethereal edifice crafted from primordial energy, Hun Naguan Ki. Its surreal beauty and boundless energy evoke a joy that transcends human comprehension. His Holiness opened the gate to the White Jade Palace. When His Holiness rode the chariot and approached the White Jade Palace, he witnessed an overwhelming number of perispirits, gathering in front of the gates, so vast in number they could not be counted. As the chariot came to a halt, His Holiness stepped down and observed 3 grand gates before the White Jade Palace. Each gate was guarded by the 4-time lords, making a total of 12 lords, all clad in armor and wielding sacred instruments, blocking the perispirits from entering. This sight caused His Holiness to feel immense anger. He requested to speak with the Time Lords, and immediately, the 3 gates seemed to shift and merge into one, bringing all 12 Time Lords to stand before His Holiness. He asked them why the perispirits were not allowed entry. The Time Lords, appearing hesitant, replied, "We were instructed not to let them in." Hearing this, His Holiness instantly understood that the order came from Kim Kwang Su, who had been preventing the perispirits from entering. Enraged, he turned toward the outside and commanded the perispirits to proceed inward. At once, the perispirits surged forward like a great wave crashing upon the shore, heading directly into the White Jade Palace. After all the perispirits had entered, His Holiness turned back and instructed the 12-time sovereigns to also enter and carefully inspect the area to ensure that no one had been left outside. The White Jade Palace and the joy of ascending the throne. When His Holiness Dharma Protector entered the White Jade Palace, he observed that it was divided into 3 main sections. The central entrance was the place where exalted Buddhas resided. The left side was designated for the female divine beings, and the right side for the male divine beings. As he stepped inside, he heard a soft murmuring sound coming from the other side and saw only shadows cast through a peculiar partition. This partition was translucent and hazy, resembling a thin veil of mist, creating an air of mystery. Initially, His Holiness did not pay much attention to his surroundings and continued walking forward. He noticed that everyone had a designated seat, except for him. Carrying the Jiang Ma Shu on his shoulder, he wondered to himself, "Why does everyone have a seat while I do not?" At that moment, someone appeared nearby and pointed out to him, "Your throne is over there." He looked up and saw an incredibly majestic throne, but he was skeptical, fearing it might be a deception. While he hesitated, the person reassured him, "That throne is indeed yours." His Holiness taught that, even after countless lifetimes of enduring hardship and establishing spiritual merit in the world, nothing could compare to the joy of sitting upon the throne in the White Jade Palace. The overwhelming bliss was indescribable and far beyond imagination. As he pondered how to ascend the throne, a ladder appeared, leading him to his rightful place. Once seated on the throne, His Holiness noticed that before each person there were food and wine. He wondered, "Why do they have these, and I do not?" As soon as the thought crossed his mind, a divine peach and a cup of heavenly wine instantly appeared before him. In this place, everything he desired seemed to manifest effortlessly, leaving nothing lacking. He reflected that, even after enduring countless lifetimes in the earthly realm, one could never attain such unparalleled luxury and supreme happiness. The Long Hua Assembly. A vision of divine reward. The Long Hua Assembly is the exalted realm within the White Jade Palace that we are now envisioning. God the Father granted His Holiness the privilege of witnessing this beforehand, so he could bear testimony and share with the children of God that, one day, they too will have the opportunity to ascend to that place and sit in the sacred throne. His Holiness affirmed that if we achieve liberation and unity with God the Father, the joy of sitting upon that throne will be a fitting reward for all the hardships we have endured throughout countless lifetimes. God the Father never allows anyone to suffer loss or remain indebted to Him. How blessed are those who dare to lend to God the Father, that is, those who dedicate their lives to serving Him. For those who know how to love and serve God the Father with unwavering loyalty, He reciprocates their devotion by granting them incomparable glory. When God the Father becomes their support and serves them in return, there is no happiness on earth that can compare to this divine fulfillment. Encountering Celestial Jade Emperor in the White Jade Palace, when His Holiness Dharma Protector entered the White Jade Palace, his heart was filled with questions. Is the one who resides here Celestial Jade Emperor? Is he the person? And how can I know who he truly is? As soon as this thought arose, His Holiness saw a large veil, layer upon layer, obscuring the space ahead. He knew that Celestial Jade Emperor was behind the veil and inwardly wished for it to be drawn aside so that he might behold him. In response to his wish, the veil gradually parted, revealing a wondrous yet still indistinct figure, not entirely clear. Then, His Holiness saw Celestial Jade Emperor emerged, clothed in a pure white robe, with a white headscarf resembling the minor robe of a Cao Dai priest. Soft, flowing ribbons cascaded from his back, and his snow-white beard gave him an extraordinary aura of majesty and gentleness. His Holiness felt an overwhelming sense of love and reverence. He pondered that the image of the Celestial Jade Emperor he had seen earlier in the Celestial Palace seemed to wear a different attire. Could this be the same being? While he was still contemplating, Celestial Jade Emperor stepped forward to the center, gazing directly at him, as if to say, "Look and see." At that moment, His Holiness looked up and saw a radiant halo of light surrounding him. In his hand, God the Father held a magnificent staff adorned with a gourd. A small bag hung at his side. Gently, he turned the staff horizontally, transforming it into the balance beam. The gourd became the scales pan, and the bag transformed into the counterweight. These three sacred items combined to form a divine balance, a symbol of divine justice and omnipotent authority. His Holiness realized that the figure he had seen earlier in the Celestial Palace and the one before him now were the same. He was none other than the great Heavenly Father, the Supreme Being who had created the cosmos and all existence. Yet, amidst His infinite transformations, He embodied a profound closeness and boundless compassion for all His children. Caution in conduct and compassion. His Holiness reminds humanity to exercise utmost caution in their treatment of all living beings. He teaches that even a flower should not be regarded as an inanimate object. If we break it thoughtlessly, we may unknowingly destroy a sacred life force hidden within it, which could create significant obstacles on our spiritual path. As for animals, if we merely view them as simple living creatures, how can we know whether they might be a Buddha or a Bodhisattva in the process of reincarnation? If we inadvertently consume the flesh of such a being, one day, when they ascend to a higher realm and sit as equals with us, they might remind us, "In a previous life, you consumed my flesh." That single reminder could be enough to burden us with the weight of karmic debt, forcing us to bear the cycle of birth and death once more, as we have to reincarnate again. In this world, there are countless living beings, and we cannot be certain whether a particular animal may harbor a Buddha or a Bodhisattva on their journey of reincarnation, striving to form their lotus throne. If we were to accidentally harm or consume such a sacred being, our attainment of a noble spiritual rank would become exceedingly difficult. For this reason, God the Father teaches us to practice vegetarianism, to cultivate compassion and avoid creating grievous karmic entanglements. Exploring the White Jade Palace, after beholding the White Jade Palace, His Holiness Dharma Protector became curious and wished to explore the entirety of this vast and boundless place. He humbly addressed to God the Father, saying, "Please allow me to see the entirety of the white jade palace." Instantly, as though God the Father had anticipated his thoughts, he approached a small pedestal, an object that His Holiness had previously overlooked. God the Father struck the pedestal with his staff, transforming it into an old man. His Holiness did not know the name of this figure and has since referred to him simply as Mr. Pedestal. Mr. Pedestal then guided His Holiness throughout the palace, showing and explaining the various realms, each of which appeared in a miniature form, like a landscaped bonsai. While walking with Mr. Pedestal, His Holiness feared that he might miss some part of the white jade palace. Despite traveling in his perispirit, he still felt weary, as the vastness of the white jade palace condensed the infinite expanse of the entire cosmos within itself. He realized that in this realm, whether one is male or female, everyone had their rightful place. No one needed to worry about lacking a seat. His Holiness firmly asserted that all children of God the Father have their place here. None are abandoned or dismissed. In fact, there are plenty of seats remaining unoccupied. A message for spiritual practitioners. His Holiness emphasized, "In this world, strive to cultivate yourself so that you may return to that sacred realm." He wholeheartedly cares for everyone, not only in the divine realm but also regarding their lives in the earthly world. He affirmed that these teachings have been clearly conveyed and demonstrated for all to witness. If one fails to practice, the fault lies within themselves and cannot be excused by saying, "The Dharma protector never said anything, so I didn't know." Concluding the journey of teaching, from this point forward, His Holiness declared that the path of spiritual advancement in the sacred eternal realm has been completed. The teachings have been fully explained, and each individual must now take their own steps on the journey to reunite with God the Father.